You're listening to the Spiritual Highways podcast with Leigh Ann and Michelle.
Good morning.
Good morning, love.
How are you?
I am great. I am really fabulous, actually. How are you this morning?
I'm good. Can't complain.
Good. I've been thinking about my my soulmate.
Okay. Which one?
That's so accurate, actually. She's awesome, guys. I'm telling you. Actually, Dick Van Dyke, actually.
Aww.
He is... he's been on my mind lately so much. And although he doesn't realize that he's my soulmate, he will. And not all soulmates are romantic lovers.
Right.
But I love him. And I've just been worried about him. You know, he's 92 or probably 93 now. And he's been on my mind.
Maybe we should have a Dick Van Dyke marathon.
No, because then it'll make me all emotional, and I'm not ready for that. I'm not ready for that.
Okay.
So shout out to Dick. I hope he's doing all right.
We love you, Dick.
Yeah. Nothing's wrong with him, by the way. He's been on my mind. Like, I don't know that anything's happened to him, but I just love him. And so, I don't know, and then Michelle, I will not. As much as it's paining me not to do this right now, because I want so badly to sing. Don't, because I will.
It's stuck in my head now. It's your fault.
No, it is her fault that she started singing that, and so I won't put you through it. But it is paining me to not. But so I just had to start there because everybody needs a little Dick Van Dyke in their life. Oops.
Just moving a little tidbit for everyone.
Yeah,
there you go.
So, how are you?
Well, I'm not crushing on Dick Van Dyke, but I do love him. I know what you mean. Yeah. I'm not literally crushing. I get it, but I don't know what's going on with me.
Well, I can tell you what's going on with you.
What?
Well, you said something to me the other day that it was an advice that you were offering to someone else.
And it ended up being my advice.
Yeah, but it was pretty fabulous, and I think that everybody else needs to hear it too.
Well, okay, my advice to this person was, if you are telling your story, you have to be the main character in your story. And you can't play a supporting role, and you can't let other supporting characters distract you from your path.
That's right. And which, is
just
very
taking
easily done.
Ownership in your story and what you do. And don't forget
I think you should be more, break it down. You don't have to use real examples, but...
Well, I can use me as a real example.
Okay,
just like,
You take care of everybody, including me. I'm serious. She does everything for me.
But if I tell my story or my history, sometimes I, might put myself as, I did this for so-and-so, or I don't know. It's just...
You always take a back seat to what you do here. It's not, and I'm just talking about with what you do for us. I mean, That's not even what you do for everybody else that's in your life. But I mean, you have a hard time accepting the fact that, nothing would happen if it wouldn't be for you, period.
I'm starting to embrace it. I am.
You really should.
I am. I'm starting to understand it and not be afraid of it. But it's hard to own, I guess. Mm-hmm. It makes you feel...
vulnerable?
A little bit.
But why?
Because then you're in the spotlight. And even on my wedding day, when all eyes are on you and you're walking, my jaw does this weird movie thing. And not movie in the movies. It moves on its own...
Oh, I need to see this.
I can't recreate it. It's a nerve thing, and I'm smiling, and this nerve actually makes my jaw...
Wait, is it like a Whitney Houston, blah, blah, blah,
It's
thing?
like that. It goes back. I can't control it, and it's only when I'm nervous. And so...
I'm not laughing at you.
No, but that's my visual of being vulnerable, is that thing that my face does, and so I don't want to be in the spotlight. I know. I can't explain it. It's weird.
Okay, just so you know.
Are you about to analyze me right now?
I am totally I need to, for one, I'm trying to visualize this.
I know, and I can't recreate it. That's the weird thing. So I know it's when I'm nervous, this nerve in my face takes over and starts making my jaw go in directions it normally shouldn't go in. It's weird. and uncomfortable.
Okay, so just so everybody knows, this is gonna be my mission, is to catch this in the act. So I'm gonna put Michelle.
Oh, you're gonna shove me in the spotlight a lot?
I am gonna
hate
shove
you.
I am gonna thrust you into the spotlight.
I'm gonna punch you in the face.
No. But okay, so I've never seen that. So and that's interesting to me. I wonder if it's in your mind and your jaw is really not going wanky.
I don't know.
But maybe that's your cue of this needs to happen more often. Like, oh.
Well, I can say I need to call my daughter-in-law because she, at their wedding, I'm walking down the aisle with my husband going, I'm about to ruin her wedding pictures because my jaw is doing this crazy thing. So I probably need to call her and say, like, did I ruin your wedding pictures with my crazy jaw?
I really think that's called insecurity, and we should work on that. So, but you should definitely be. What I find interesting is that you were given this advice to somebody, and it's like, that's brilliant. How about you take it?
Yeah.
So,
How about you learn that for yourself?
yeah, because you do so much for me alone, and us, and everything.
Well, thank you. Thank you very much.
And you deserve very much to be the main character.
Well, everybody deserves
You should
to
have
be-
the title page
Hush.
of everything.
Hush your mouth.
I'm just trying to make your
No.
jaw move. No, I'm just kidding.
No, I thought I think it's good advice for everyone.
It is.
Don't forget to be the main character in your story.
Mm-hmm.
And
But the other part was, don't let the what is it,
supporting
the cast,
characters.
or,
supporting cast to just distract you from your path.
right.
And so now I'm about to out you.
What do you?
And we're going to analyze you.
Wait a minute, we were still on you.
No. We're shifting gears now
Oh,
because
boy.
I don't want to be in the spotlight anymore.
Oh gosh.
My jaw might do something crazy.
Oh, I was waiting for it.
Yeah. No. Okay. So you gave me your journal to read.
Yeah, sorry about that.
Sorry about your luck.
In case you didn't have enough on your plate. There you go.
No. So I was going through it, and I can't remember all the details because you know me and details. I'm not good at it, but I do remember like the overall theme of it. And
This was from years ago.
From years ago, yeah. This was like
many years ago.
yeah,
More than
7 years,
yeah.
7 years ago, and it was just at a moment where you had just figured out what your gift was.
Or what I was
Actually,
supposed to do with it.
Actually, there were a few pages where you're like, "Dear God, I just want to know what my purpose is. I want to know what my gift is," and then you'd figured it out, and then you felt a little despair, and I don't remember everything, but I do remember the overall theme of it was feeling so sad because you'd discovered your gift and you're expecting, you feel elated, and then in the next breath a little despair because you're like, now what do I do with it? Now how do I get from where I'm at to where I'm going? And feeling, am I describing that accurately? Because that's what I got from it.
Yeah. Many years ago, I realized that weird things would happen. I just didn't know what that looked like. And I even remember as a teenager saying, what is I don't have any talents, or I don't have any, what makes me special? I prayed a lot about that as a kid. Where you picked up on is exactly, I had just kind of realized what it was what was happening. I was starting to, I guess, question it a little bit more. Like I'd have visions and dreams, or not say a dream, but I'd have a vision of a memory that was not my own, and I would question, I'd finally gotten to where I would question people and say, hey, does this make sense to you? And, more and more would come across and say, yeah. And then I had my moment of where God took out all doubt and question whatsoever in my mind, and really pushed me to step outside my comfort zone. And then from that moment is when I really accepted it. And so where you were in the beginning of where you started was, I had just realized, went through those two transitions of, is this my gift? Is this what's really going on? And then, okay, obviously there's something here, and now I have to surrender, or I did surrender. Now what? And which was a very scary thing to do, because, all right, when you tell God that you're going to no longer doubt or question anything, and then he's going to test you on that, and that's very scary. and it leaves you doubting like whether you should have done that to begin with, or am I doing the right thing, and where do I go from here? So it's like, I've gotten validation. Yeah, here it is. This is big, and this is what you're supposed to do. And you're left with the responsibility of, okay, now how do I make this happen? And so it puts a lot of pressure on you. And this is with so many things. Like, okay, I know that I'm supposed to be going into this field, but then what do I do with it? How do I end up over there? And I think a lot of it is I was trying to take in everything I could all at one time. At first I started, I would read everything that I possibly could get my hands on, and I was trying to absorb years worth of downloads in 20 minutes, which is a lesson for me now, which I'll get into later, that I was doing the same thing. But everything has a process, everything has a step, and it's figuring out not so much of the end result, but it's figuring out the steps of the process. And in order to figure out the steps, I had to go and be in the present moment. I couldn't worry about what was going to happen. I had to worry about, okay, here's what I know. This is the information I have. Let me build on that. So at that point, I would go from, okay, I have this amazing experience, to the weight of the world. So you saw in my journal is the up and the down of that. Like, this is amazing. Now what? Oh my God. This is amazing. Now what? Oh my God. A lot of it was a challenge because, all right, I accepted it for myself. I knew without a doubt. I took all the doubt that was in my mind, because that had to come first. I had to believe in myself. And then I had to share that information with other people. And I'm not talking about strangers. I'm talking about the people that you know and you love. And because that's kind of like the first step,
Right.
Are they going to accept this? What are they going to think? And I was very blessed in the fact that for the most part, everybody really embraced, that's not always easy. Hey, guess what? Did you know that I can talk to people that aren't here anymore? And you know what? Surprisingly, several people already, oh, okay, I kind of figured that. I heard that more often than I would have thought, which was comforting. But then it's even more pressure, because it's like, oh, okay, now they believe in me. Now I have not only pressure of, okay, this is what I'm supposed to do, but then you have, okay, now I have to do something with it because it's here for a reason.
Yeah, I've named it.
Right. So okay, now what? And so again, it was just how do I trust, and how do I not lose my mind in the process, and where does it fit into my life? And it was not easy. There was many times where it would be 8 or 9 o'clock at night, and I'm like, hey, guess what? I got to go give a message. And, and at that time I had no boundaries, which Michelle has luckily, showed me had over the years how to reel that in and create more boundaries with my work. And I'm so grateful for you. But back then I didn't really know. And so I would be gone for hours and hours at a time, and which put strain and pressure because, I depleted myself often.
Right.
With all the other responsibilities that I had at the time, and then on top of that. And so, like I said, that goes back again. That is, again, why you see the fluctuation of, and if you look back, I was kind of glancing at it last night too. It's like I'd have great days, and then it would be like like at least a couple days of just exhaustion and horrible days.
Right.
And can go back to, now I know that's because I was just taken away and I was being depleted.
Right.
And I wasn't feeding myself back. I was not.
There was no balance.
None.
And I think it's interesting because I think that could be at a point where a lot of people could get discouraged in their path, mm-hmm. and not continue. Mm-hmm. And you didn't let it discourage you. And because I think in a lot of things, when you have those down days, you think, oh, well, this is, maybe I shouldn't be doing this. Oh. And you didn't let that discourage you. You pressed on.
Oh, I wanted to.
Yeah.
And it was very, like, I remember, I'd have like weeks where it would be constant. Like I'd constantly be giving a message or talking, to spirit or something amazing. And then it would be like a week and I think in one of them it says I haven't communicated with spirit in a week. Like I haven't, and that not meaning my guides, I guess, but like for other people, it's like, am I doing something wrong? So I mean, a lot of people
did it go away?
Yeah. Like
did I lose it?
Exactly. Yeah. And then that panic sets in. And then, but that was just a way of
a break for you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I'm saying, okay, I need to absorb. It's the analogy I like to use is, we take vitamins, and if I'm low on iron, I can't just take one iron pill and I'm back to normal. No, you got to, it's a slow process of daily intake and processing and to build up to where you need to be.
Right.
And it's having that patience. So if I could go back, I'd say, chill out. Like, it's all going to work out. Especially when you figure out what your gift or your talent is or what your purpose is, God's going to give you those tools, or your higher power, whoever you look at, is going to give you these tools, but don't think that they're not going to be tested. Right. Your will and because
your ego gets in the way.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely, and you need to know that you can work under pressure.
Because your ego wants to leap forward,
right?
But the reality is, it's baby steps.
Absolutely,
you should just walk forward. And so, when you're not leaping ahead, mm-hmm. you get frustrated.
Absolutely,
yeah.
Because we all want instant. We live in a world of instant gratification, and I am one of the most impatient people on the planet. And so. I was just doing the same, and this is a lesson that I should know. I mean, but I think it's one that we always grow on and cultivate on. I mean, I was doing the same thing. I'm taking this yoga to become a yoga instructor, and have been like trying to absorb centuries and centuries of yoga history. And for what? Because how am I going to recall I'm trying to memorize a textbook. And I was never a fabulous student, okay? My head was always in the clouds. So why do I think I'm going to know and be able to recall this entire textbook? It's like, all right, sister, reel it in just a little bit. Let's come into the at least modern age.
Follow the outline that she gave you.
Yeah, no, I'm wanting to
She's pacing you. Let your teacher guide you.
Yeah, and I'm wanting to be I know, I'm going to suck it up.
I'm going to be the superstar.
No, my brain's saying.
I'm going to be super yoga.
Yeah. No, this is years, Leigh Ann. So, no, it's be patient with yourself, and it's okay.
Right. It is. You do. There's a time where you process. You learn stuff, you process it. You learn stuff, you process it.
And a lot of times I think it's the pressure we put on ourselves.
Absolutely,
to be somebody that we're not.
Right. Or mm-hmm. somebody that we want to be, but there's a step to get there. You're going to learn all the information you need to learn, mm-hmm. but you have to learn it in a period of time, not in 3 days.
Exactly.
Or whatever.
Exactly.
It's not. You're not a computer, and you can't just download a software program into your operating system.
Absolutely. So I mean, it was a very delicate dance. There was a lot of challenges there. I mean,
I don't remember all the details. I remembered the overall mm-hmm. theme of it, that's my gift, is to know. I might not get all the details, but I know the core, the theme of things. And so
she's an excellent translator.
But the one detail that stuck out, because some of your journal entries were Dear God, mm-hmm. and a letter, and you were please help me be who so and so needs me to be, mm-hmm. and that really hurt my heart for you, because I think a lot of people feel that way, and the whole time, he's not ever going to make you who you need to be for another human being. He's going to make you who you need to be for him. Mm-hmm. And so sometimes we pray for the wrong things.
That's a perfect example.
Because you're not fully understanding. You wanted to be who you needed to be to make person happy. But God was like, whoa, hey, I've got plans for you.
Yep.
And
you can watch that transition because I spent a majority of my lifetime doing that for many, many people. Like, God, I want to be this person.
For this person, and this person
and
for
it
this
really
person.
didn't hit me until you're saying that, and now it makes sense. But going back, and when I stopped doing that, is when I feel like the fast forward button. Like I would feel like I was going in slow motion, and if you really want to get honest, looking at it, that's when I made that switch of stop being that way.
Right.
Which I don't know was a conscious thing. Definitely.
No, I don't think it was conscious.
But switched.
I think it's, there's a lot of people talking nowadays about being your authentic self and all of that. And I think that it's part of it is just being who you're called to be. And the people in your life will love you in who you're called to be. And
they might not like it at first.
Well, at first, because if they've put you in a category where you've been and you've done X, Y, and Z for them, and then X, Y, and Z no longer looks like X, Y, and Z, they're going to obviously have trouble with that because you're, whatever. But we're all, on a path and trying to figure out what we're supposed to do in this world. And we have to be honest. It doesn't mean, you don't have to be mean about it. It's just like, I have to do this. This is what I am called to do.
Right.
And
that I'll touch on that. That was
tough.
That was very tough.
Yeah.
That was very tough because it did not fit the mold. And
fit the mold that you had created for yourself to fit in.
Correct.
Yeah.
Correct. And whenever you're having to step out and, okay, you go and you trust. Okay, I've surrendered in a huge, huge way. And God at that point was like, okay, now I'm going to test you on so many levels. It's, and it could have been a lot worse, don't get me wrong, but there was a lot of tests. It wasn't
easy.
No, it was not an easy test. And there's a lot of people that would say, it's much easier to
have kept you in your mold.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, I could have stayed in my mold and I would have been, I'd have put a smile on my face and had but it would not have ever worked in the long run because I think what your sole purpose is and what you're meant to do and what God, you're going to do it is just, you might go kicking and screaming, or you can just walk softly. Even in walking softly, it comes with its fair amount of challenges. So when you see someone trying to make that transition, or you see somebody that's trying to change, be wary of the words, I think, that you put out and your expectations.
Yeah.
Because they're really not our own. They're not yours. They don't belong to you when it comes to someone else. And even though it's not what you think, it doesn't fit the mold.
Yeah.
So
sometimes you just have to hear them.
Yeah.
Let them be heard.
That's right. But yeah, it was not easy to say and do the things that I've done, but I'm so much better for them, and I feel stronger from them.
Yeah.
But I think that everybody has something to gain from that.
Experience. Absolutely. And that's, and just reading your journal, the takeaway for me that it would apply to everyone is, once you know what you're supposed to be doing in this lifetime, know that where you are and where you're going, it's a lot of steps in between, and don't let that deter you from taking the first step.
Mm-hmm. Well, when I read them back, I read a lot of them were deep. I can go into a rabbit hole very quickly. And so after I read them, I'm sitting here and I'm like, I really feel like I need to create a rebuttal, because I didn't want to leave on a negative note, and the positive note was great, but some of them were. So I wrote something back to me, and I said, if I could have talked to you then, meaning to myself. And I responded in my new journal to my old journal. And after I wrote it, I sat back and I kind of said, this is sound advice for anybody at any moment in their whole entire life. I need to say that to me now. And what it was I would say that to be patient and to say that you're beautiful and that I love you and that you're going to be okay and that you're going to make it and it's all going to be all right. And I know you're scared, but you're going to be okay. Just do it. Do it and don't be afraid of what's going to happen because, you're protected. And I don't know that I would have listened. Probably not. But
you wouldn't have heard it at the time.
No, but reading it to myself, I said, now. Because there's plenty of times where I'm like, oh, it would be so much easier for me to just go get a regular 9 to 5.
But
it really would not be easier.
You had to be the one to tell you that.
Yeah.
You had to be the one to write those words. Mm-hmm. Nobody else could have told you that. You wouldn't have heard it.
Right. That's true. So sometimes we do need to hear it from ourselves or hear it from other people at times. But yeah, sometimes we just have to experience it too, in order to understand what that means. But I am grateful that I had that to look back on. Even the darkest moments. It was nice to be able to, I know that a few of them you were looking at and like, oh, okay. Huh. Maybe I should go pray.
No, it wasn't that bad.
No, it was not. But it was nice to be able to go back and
look
have
at me.
Yeah. Wow. I've yes, I did that right. Or I mastered that skill, which doesn't happen very often. So
stop
no,
it.
but seriously. But it was nice to see that the transition and the change. It made me feel like I wasn't just staying still. Yeah. So it's very easy to forget where we came from.
It is.
And how far we've come in our journey. Because, so much has happened, and especially for those people that are like just wanting to kill it, like, go after life and embrace it. Sometimes we just have to slow down and look behind you and say, wait, let's take stock of where you've been and how far you've come and what you have,
right?
In your hand now.
You can pat yourself on the back.
Absolutely. And you should.
Absolutely.
You absolutely should. So that was a good reminiscing moment. I think. So I think it will help. Hopefully.
I hope so.
Yeah.
And now you can go spend some time with Dick Van Dyke.
Oh.
Your heart.
Oh, my heart. I love him. I really do hope he's doing well. Like, and you know what? I
feel like I need to go watch Mary Poppins now.
No, I feel like I try to Google his, like, I just want to know how's he doing? I'm not on, like, we do have a Twitter, which I don't use because I just am not a tweeter.
I'm not a tweeter either.
And, but maybe I'll tweet him and ask him, so I just wanted to know how you were doing. Just wanted to see. I do. I feel like I just checking in. Yeah. I just need a health update. If someone can give me a health update on Dick Van Dyke. Just want to know he's okay.
Well, and I just want to say shout out to everyone who has gone on our website and used our form to send us emails.
Yes, that's been going.
I know, and book appointments with you and ask questions. So we thank you, and we appreciate those of you that have gone on iTunes and left reviews. We would love for y'all to do that as well.
Yeah.
And so just thank you guys for everyone who's been listening. We are
sharing
on episode 15, getting close to 2,000 listens.
Yeah.
I know, it's crazy.
That's mind-blowing.
It's crazy. Yeah. So I'm excited. And,
yes, me too. Yeah, so. For everybody that listens, you'll get your check in about a week. No, I'm just kidding. No, it's been such a joy, and it's been a lot of fun, and so I'm excited. I should say.
And we should say, if something doesn't go right the first time, regroup and start again.
That's
because
right.
This would actually be take 2 of our 15th episode.
Yeah,
we had 29 minutes and 53 seconds of this episode, and no audio. Couldn't find it. Yeah. So we said a few words we are not going to say on our podcast, and then we got up.
Or we'd have to put the explicit sign.
And we danced it out.
Yes, we totally danced.
And then we re-recorded.
Yes.
And I think we did good.
And I'm afraid we may have to say we apologize to the neighbors because we did like totally rock it out. We usually dance it out and we use echo, but no, we just pulled out the Bose speaker and we let it all out because we had a lot of frustration.
But it's all good because I do see the equalizer, and we're good.
We're good.
So until next week, people.
All right, bye.
Bye.
You've been listening to the Spiritual Highways podcast with Leigh Ann and Michelle. Catch up on past episodes at spiritualhighways.com, on iTunes, Spotify, SoundCloud, YouTube, and more.